part two of Annie Got Your Gun. And we were talking about, what were we talking about?
It was something around goals.
Obviously,
Oh, I
active
was talking about
campaign.
opens and clicks.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I
Privacy,
remember.
opens, and clicks.
Right. And so I was telling you about my fabulous new lead magnet I'm making, which is called Treasures of Email, and which is entirely geared up. It's engineered specifically to get clicks during the welcome sequence. So I was talking about how ActiveCampaign cannot tell you whether someone who is using an Apple device opened or did not open. And to be fair, we never really knew that an open actually meant they'd read it. So I've always said to people to click, right? But it means that now, especially on those welcome sequences, you've got to be actively looking for the click. And I think it's possible to design a welcome where you explicitly say, you need to click this. We need to see a sign of life or you're going to be out. Okay. I think it's okay for us to start talking about that more openly. Maybe more for me because I'm an email educator as well. So it makes sense for me to educate as I go. Right. So anyway, you've got your welcome sequence going and you want to make decisions about what you're going to do with that person. We were talking about the tools that you've got in ActiveCampaign that you can use to do that. There is so much in there. One of my favorite ones is link actions. If someone clicks a particular link, you can have that start any automation you want it to, or stop another automation, or add or remove any tag you want them to. Okay, so, and you can do multiple actions on any given link click. So if you have pretty much any strategy you want to implement that hinges around did someone click or not click any particular link, you can always do it because you've got link tracking baked in there, plus link actions and site tracking, which actually then watches where do they go on your website. So you can not only follow the click, you can follow where do they go next. So it can get really sophisticated if you want it to. And there is a degree of like, just keep it simple to start off with, master the foundational stuff first. It's a very incremental learning in there. And then
as you said, that's where you don't necessarily need these, well, I'm going to say a bad word, AI. You don't need this AI out there that's predicting what they're going to do.
No.
Your customers doing it. Watch what they're doing.
Yeah,
use behavior.
Yeah. I call it benign spying.
Well, it's sort of, yeah, it's creepy. Yeah, it's creepy, but it's not when you're realizing that, you're in a store, you're sitting there looking at stuff.
Yeah, the assistant's watching you to see what you look at.
And the person in the store is watching you look at stuff, and at some point they're going to come over and say, "Can I help you?"
Right.
And you're going to say, "Well, I'm looking for a suit." Okay. Yeah. Well, you know what? Your eyes are this color, whatever. This would look nice on you. That's what they're there to do. They're looking at you and they're helping you buy what is good for you.
It's weird, isn't it? There's this strange hesitancy for us to get more connected with people. And I'm like, guys, you have got this wealth of information at your disposal. And one of the things I love about ActiveCampaign is that with a few really simple setup things like getting your site tracking code in place and making sure you have link tracking turned on for your emails, you have everything you need to know about that individual. You can go into their contact activity. You can read them like a book, so long as you know what you're looking for. So I do a lot of education around that. And then when you see someone heating up, so they're hitting a hotspot, you can even build a little hotspot detector if you want to. You can have an automation that watches for them clicking certain links, visiting certain pages, clicking a link in an email multiple times. You can watch for pretty much anything. Have that trigger an automation. So it's like an automated hotspot detector.
Exactly.
Right? That then prods you and says, "Hey, Kay, come and do something really special, human touch, high value to connect with this person because they are nearly there, but not quite."
Right.
And that's when you can deploy the CX steps in ActiveCampaign. So, Joy, I don't know how much you know about these ones. The CX.
I was going to say, talk about that.
Yeah, so this is stuff where inside an ActiveCampaign automation, this is our marble run. We can put contacts in, and we have superpowers. We're totally in charge of what happens when in any automation. So you can add a step that connects to an outside tool like a text messaging service like ClickSend or Just Call, or a personal video tool. This is one of my favorites, Bonjoro, and creates a task for you to go and connect with that contact one-to-one. Okay. So for example, if someone visits my Academy sales page, I think I've said more than 3 times in a week, it's like a good klaxon goes off, like, and I am in their inbox personally making it. I go visit their website. The CX steps are amazing because they deliver contextual information to exactly where you want it. And you can do that with pretty much any tool you want to integrate. So you could send them a postcard, you can do an SMS, you can do a Bonjoro, anything you want to do. The world's your oyster. Because if it doesn't connect via direct integration, you can do a webhook to Zapier and have Zapier go create your task or whatever.
Right. That's the beauty. That is really the beauty of email marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, use the tool. Don't let the tool use you. Oh, we can't do that in so-and-so. Well, maybe that's because you're thinking of a strategy that doesn't work. Why don't you use the tools to create the strategy?
Got to know what tools you've got to play with, right?
Yeah, and how they work, and how your business works and what they connect to. So integrations, for example, when you were talking about what you were talking about, my reaction was, oh, does it connect to Calendly?
Mm-hmm. It does.
Right? So if you've got a small group, small business, whereby you're doing marketing and your sales for, the salesmen or saleswomen, whatever, 2 or 3 of them out there, there's a point where let the let the customer, and almost without knowing, contact sales. They're ready for a conversation.
Yeah.
It's not that you have to get on the phone and go, well, I know that you visited this page and I know that you did this and this and this. The salesperson can be intelligent enough to know it's time to pitch to this person.
Yeah.
And how to pitch to them.
Yeah.
Understanding the tool set. But that's the buy-in from sales. And that's always marketing's challenge is, and I've always said marketing is a service to sales. If you don't understand that, you're not more than sales. You're part of sales. They need you. But you need to be able to ask them what they need so that you give it to them.
Yeah, because the automation services sits across all of these things.
Right.
A really good automation professional is going to be having very in-depth conversations with all of those people.
Right.
And building something that really meets all of their needs. And it starts with that very human strategic thing, because there's the humans at the inbox, but then there's the humans inside the business. You have to serve them as well.
Right.
Yeah. I find it really interesting working with small and medium businesses because, of course, they're much more connected. They tend not to have that silo between marketing and sales. So it's often actually much easier to do that.
Right.
Small business scenario.
But along the lines of the opens that you had mentioned before, a lot of times marketing will export a list of opens and give it to sales. Sales will start making those hot calls and find that these people wildly cold because it's not built, it's based on opens. And that's the clicks. And that's very rough, unfortunately, because the audience goes from, hundreds to tens. But wouldn't you rather give sales 50 people that they really can work with as opposed to 1,000 people that are meaningless?
Yeah. Yeah. This is where I love the versatility of what you can see about contact activity in ActiveCampaign, because it brings together all the threads. Like if someone's made a Calendly appointment, you can see that in there. If they filled out a type form or a gravity form, you can feed all of this information. And a lot of it is just baked in straight out the box with ActiveCampaign. The site tracking in particular is just extraordinarily powerful, because in somebody's one visit to a site, let's take a wedding photographer, for example, you send them they're in the welcome sequence. and it's like you can bait the hook. You can throw in some little tempting bait on a couple of things. And if they click that link, they're interested. But then if they click that link and they land and they stay and they visit these 3 other significant pages, that is a key lead. They are ready to buy. And all you've got to do is reach out your hand and connect with them. Mm-hmm. That's it. And you can have Active Campaign Watch for that on autopilot. But first, before you can build it, you have to identify it. You have to understand what are the toys I have to play with and how can I use those toys and tools to identify my hotspots.
Right. And it's as easy as tags.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's, and I've literally seen programs where the automation is just cleaning tags.
Yeah.
So nothing's being sent. Literally, nothing's being sent. They go into, it gets triggered, let's say every 6 months. Mm-hmm. And it literally takes everybody in, and based upon this strategy that you've baked in, that's, that started from the beginning, it goes in, it says, okay, if they've got this tag, take all those tags away, remove them, give them this tag, and move them into this.
Yeah,
and literally it goes to the end, so that at the end everybody's been cleaned out. You haven't done a thing.
No.
You set up this automation that every 6 months cleans your list.
Yeah, there's some lovely stuff you can do that like for that in that manner with things like repeating cycles, like where you do a webinar and you do a webinar every quarter. You can build beautiful evergreen processes. Well, sort of, they're like a hybrid because it's actually a timed event rather than evergreen. It's not dripping in. Everyone's doing it at the same time, but you're running it on a repeat cycle. If you build that process with intention and understanding the tools, and it doesn't have to be you personally that understands them. You can come to someone like me who really understands it, and you tell me the scenario you're trying to do. I will tell you how to do that in a way that's really going to serve you going forwards and save you having to rebuild the whole shenanigans again next time. Right? Active Campaign really lends itself so that you can build a process that requires maybe 1 or 2 little edits in order to reuse that whole shebang again next time. The sheer amount of time that's saved is just astounding. And then that makes it possible for a very small number of humans in the business who are very talented at what they do to amplify that and reach more people, but also use more human interaction with the people who matter most to that business, the people who have the potential to become really big spenders with them.
Yeah, it's very gratifying when you're able to use a particular tool set and you hit that strategy that delivers the bang for the buck.
Yeah.
And oddly, there's a lot of stuff out there. I mean, I've worked in Salesforce and it's got a variety of tools. It's so sophisticated that it requires a lot of expertise because it's got this piece and this piece and that piece and this piece, and you can't do this unless you have that and that and this. And it gets a little confusing. And it's almost as if the small business doesn't get the benefit.
Yeah.
Because it's assuming that you've got to start $50,000 in your budget to even manage the smallest amounts of heavy lifting. So Salesforce has its merit. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it's almost, when you're using the CRM and you're thinking, oh, I'll just get the marketing cloud and it'll be fine. You don't get the biggest bang for your buck, right? It's difficult. Then again, you're a MailChimp user and you're using MailChimp and your business gets to a point where, oh, this is getting really difficult.
Yeah.
It's not flexible. And it's nothing against MailChimp. It's nothing against MailChimp and obviously nothing against Salesforce. These tools have their purpose. And MailChimp is also jockeying for a different position in the marketplace. Mm-hmm. So not only are they tools, but the tools sometimes have agendas when they get purchased and merged, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It is. So this, here you are, your business, you're looking for an email marketing platform and you don't know where to go.
Yeah.
Um, Active Campaign's been around for a while. How long?
Ooh, do you know, I don't know the answer to that question.
It's at least 5 years.
Oh,
If
it's
not,
more than that. I mean, I've been
I was
using
gonna
it for
say,
6 years and it had been around a while before that. I think maybe 10 or somewhere between 10 and 15, I would guess. I know when Jason Vanderboom started it, maybe he was still in college. I can't remember.
I know that I was introduced to it 5 years ago,
Mm.
and
It's grown massively in that 5 to 6 years, and the speed of growth is still going up now.
and they are based in the U.S. I think you said Chicago, correct?
Chicago, yeah.
Yeah. So, let me know a little bit about how you work with people, how people can contact you, because we're winding down to that hour, and I don't want to lose you again. So, how can people? How do you best serve people? How can people contact you? Where are you at
Cool.
for one-on-ones?
So I'm based in the UK. My customers are all over the world, and I did one-to-one consultancy for a long time with Active Campaign. And what I found was that I spent a huge amount of that consultancy time teaching those businesses how to use Active Campaign for themselves, because I'm a teacher, and no matter how good you are at building stuff, if the people in the team are not comfortable and confident with Active Campaign, they're just going to break so much of what you build, or they're going to be stuck with what you build because they can't adapt it, change it, scale it up, move stuff around, or reuse it. And that didn't sit comfortably for me as a consultant. So I found myself doing a huge amount of teaching. Over time, lots and lots of demand, and I was topped out on how many people I could reach. So I decided to create a model from scratch for how do you teach effectively a huge platform like Active Campaign and cover that scope. So I now have a membership, and I call it a membership, but it's really more like a subscription learning program. So you can come in and out as you please. It's called the Active Campaign Academy. We have 2 levels. So we have an essential level, because Active Campaign has lots of different plans from light going up to enterprise. An enterprise user is not the same as a light user, and they simply don't have access to the same features even, right? So we have 2 levels of membership. Essential, if you're on the light plan, is probably going to be a good fit. If you're on plus or above, then we have an advanced membership, which covers those features and also just the more complex integrations and so on. Okay, so the more complex your business, the more we'll do for you. And it runs on a pay monthly, so we're quite happy for people to dip in and out as well, because the reality is that not everyone's going to be obsessed with their email marketing automation in their business. It's not always going to be the priority for them, or the thing they have time to be focused on. So I was very clear that we needed a model where people could come and learn what they needed to know to get some specific stuff done, right? Because most of the time when a small to medium business is looking at their email service provider, they want to get a specific thing done. They want to launch or do a webinar or improve their customer sales pipeline for this particular area, improve their deliverability, right? There's a period where they're very focused in. And so the Academy serves as like an encyclopedia of Active Campaign. You come in, you tell me what you need, I will point you to the exact training that you need, and you get access to me. And the access to me is the cherry on the cake. It really, really is, because you need to have access to that person who can do the matrix in the head and say, what you need is this, 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 and this. Here's the training. Go learn those bits, and here's how you put it together. End. And they go away and they make magic happen so quickly. It's the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my whole career of teaching all sorts of different things, from maths to singing to bizarrely Active Campaign. It's just so thrilling when you see someone who's coming in and they can go from not sending emails at all within a month to having a really sophisticated welcome sequence that watches for the hotspots and implements an automated follow-up if they spot a hotspot. It's really quick and it's so empowering. I just love it. So yes, so my business, I forgot where we were going with that for a moment. I got carried away.
That's quite all right.
My business is called Slick Business. So you can find me at slickbusiness.co. And we also have a free training, which is called Accelerated Active Campaign. And that's probably where you want to start. So come to slickbusiness.co and look on the top menu for Accelerated Active Campaigns. That is a free training that takes everyone straight to the best cookies in the jar in Active Campaign. And it is considered pretty universally, including by Active Campaign staff themselves, to be the hallmark Active Campaign training. It will keep you out of trouble. It will explain the terminology and get you to the good stuff really, really quickly. Okay. From there, if you want more, you come into the Active Campaign Academy and you get to hang out with me and geek out about automation, which is great fun. And then there's one more place I just want to tell you about, which is our big Facebook community called Automate Your Business with Active Campaign. And that is our free, to anyone who uses Active Campaign or email marketing. That's where we do the freak out and geek out.
So that's in Facebook.
That one's in Facebook at the moment.
And what do they need to look for in Facebook?
It's called Automate Your Business with Active Campaign.
Automate Your Business.
Yeah.
Do you reach out to people at LinkedIn, or are there any other?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. So my name is Peacey, spelled like peace with a Y on the end of it, Peacey. And you can definitely find me on LinkedIn. I'm doing more and more on that platform. I'm on Twitter as slick_biz, I think. I can never remember that one. Facebook is probably where I'm the most active, along with LinkedIn at the moment.
Very good.
We're starting a YouTube channel this year. Honest, I promise.
Oh, okay. I'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah, we have some amazing blogs with great Active Campaign tutorials. Again, all completely free because our mission is to make Active Campaign feel easy for everyone who uses it, not just the people who are choosing to pay for our services. Okay.
I think I'll become a customer.
Oh, do. I would love that.
I promise.
We have plenty of consultants who are in the membership, and they're working at really high level with clients. And what's wonderful is that we have this community of people who have a huge range of expertise that goes on top of everything that I've learned in 6 years of intensive Active Campaign immersion. We have people who bring their little corner of knowledge to the table as well. So It's wonderful. The member community is very special.
For us email people, we can geek out and talk about this without ending. But we do need to end today because life goes on. And you need to start your weekend. And I need to begin my day. So thanks so much, Kay. I really appreciate you being here. What a great guest. And thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. And I'm sorry I legged it in the middle. That was accidental and unintentional.
That's okay. Quite all right. These things do happen.
Things happen.
Yes. Tech and life. And,
tech. Yeah, we have to roll with the tech, right? That's what we
do. Sometimes life interrupts us and sometimes tech interrupts us.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.